So before we go and populate the database of S suppliers and part numbers, I would like to take a quick look at the sidebar that is here. Here we have, in fact, all the functions of the platform. We have supplier quality, which includes, in fact, non-conformity management, PPAP module, and then quality repository, incoming inspection, KPI reporting. For these three, an upgrade is required. Actually, the PPAP module, because right now we have the trial subscription, which is equivalent to the starter subscription. The PPAP module is also limited because I can only see the PPAP requests received, but I cannot open PPAP requests. In fact, it asks us to upgrade to professional. That is why it remains open. After that, in quality engineering, we have the entire internal quality section, so the one related to the third module, the enterprise one, which includes process flow, FMEA, control plan, measurement system analysis, SPC, capability studies, audit center, audit finding, engineering changes, lessons learned, and work instructions. These functions are constantly evolving, the platform is gradually developing, and the idea is to make it compliant with the ISO 9001-2026 standard as soon as it becomes available. The video is recorded on August 21st. In about a month, the new version of ISO 9001-2026 will be released, and therefore all functions will be added in such a way as to adhere to the standard. In addition to this, we have the master data, which is the important point that interests us at the moment. We will see it shortly. Workspace, where I have the settings. These are the user settings, not the company settings. So I can receive notifications via email, receive notifications in app, modify settings regarding the language, regarding whether the theme is light or dark, the time zone, etc. Then I can also have the data related to privacy and GDPR. We are compliant with the GDPR standard as required by European legislation. And so now let's go and populate. Yes, I forgot the part regarding support, where we have the help center with questions that are nothing more or less than what we see in these videos. What do I need to do? What can I do regarding all the various modules? I can also perform a search here for what I need. I can report a bug in case I encounter a problem. This can be useful for us because the platform, as I say, is still quite it is still in the development phase, still constantly evolving. There are certainly bugs, and we would appreciate it if you reported them to us. We will go and fix them immediately. The support, so there is a contact to get support, so we have priority, the problem with a screenshot, the possibility to attach a document, and here we can put the technical information. For example, we receive your browser, your operating system, we receive some information that we need to resolve the issues. And then we have release notes. Release notes shows where we are at and when the current version you have on screen was released. So we have just released version 1.2.1, which has all these features that are listed here. So basically the platform is almost complete. Now, however, let's go and look at the master data. The first thing to do once registered, once you have accessed the platform, is to populate the supplier database. The supplier database is let's say, the database of our suppliers, and we have two ways to add a supplier within the platform. Either we can do, in case we already have a supplier database, an import of a CSV file, so an Excel file. Right here we have the import format section, but by clicking right here you can easily download the standard format template. This is the specific template you'll need to use to upload your suppliers onto the platform, as you can clearly see right here. So this is the format with which the system will take the CSV. Once uploaded, filled out, we can do import CSV. So by clicking up here, we go to choose the file. Otherwise, we could manually add the names of the suppliers. In the first instance, the necessary data is only the supplier name, VAT number, country, and contact email. So what we can do is, I don't know, I have actually prepared a small database beforehand with some sample suppliers just to help us populate our table with some realistic data. So let's go ahead and start by entering the VAT number. Then we'll select the country as Italy. Yes, Italy. And for the contact email address, we can simply put in info@alpina.detail. Just to be clear, That's Alpina, to make sure everything is set up correctly for our records. And so we click Add Supplier. By adding the supplier appears down here, so we will have, we can add another one if we want, just to have 2 suppliers. Let's go ahead and add Iberia to our list, specifically focusing on their operations in Spain. For communication purposes, we should include their primary contact address, which is info.iberia.es. It is important to note that this is the official contact email for the company, and it serves as a somewhat general point of contact for various inquiries, ensuring that customers and partners can reach the right department efficiently. Then we will see in detail later the contacts that we need to manage the collaboration on non-conformities. There we go. We have uploaded two suppliers. So here we can sort them as before by most recently created in alphabetical order, most linked parts, which would be the parts connected. That is how many part numbers they supply to us. We will see later how to populate this number. And then also by country, we can put the country in alphabetical order. So if we enter, for example, Alpina Precision Component SRL, we click on it and we enter the supplier's details. So the supplier detail is very simple. It gives the supplier's name. It says it is an active supplier. It says it is an Italian supplier. Its VAT number, that is the data we entered before. And then we have this number in the center. This number in the center is, let's say, a proprietary indicator from Nexvala that indicates the status, the risk we have regarding this supplier. This is a feature already present in the starter module, and it performs a check by cross-referencing various data, such as the delay in responding to non-conformities, how many non-conformities have been opened, how many part numbers they supply, so what the exposure is, and a whole series of data that go to the status of the PPAP, but also their response on the PPAP, the number of perhaps of accepts or rejects that we have had on the documents, and it indicates a figure that is expressed in hundredths, so from 0 to 100, it gives an indication of the supplier. So this tells us it's also useful perhaps for the purchasing department to say whether it's a good supplier or not a good supplier. We see here the risk level, which is low, and the trend is improving because a little while ago it was 0, so 100, and it went up from 0 to 100. That said, we can go down here. The DNA is repeated here. Here it shows a bit of the, again, two indicators. Stability looks at this. That is how much we haven't dropped in the last period, and it is a number that evolves over time. So every time we open that supplier's page, it will give us in real time the score of that supplier. Here are the details of the supplier, so data such as city, address, postal code, and phone number. To modify this data, you just need to click Edit Supplier, and I can go and modify the data. Once modified, save, and I go and save them, and down here we have the company's key contacts. So these are operationally the contacts who will receive notifications when we go to create a non-conformity, when we go to make a new PPAP request, and so on and so forth. So at this stage, we can go ahead and create a dummy name that we will then use alongside our email address to go and manage our very first non-conformity. It is a simple step that allows us to proceed with the process effectively. We can call him Andrea Callegari, for example. The role we are assigning here is the quality manager of this company, and for his contact information, the email will be, well, actually, let's set it to support@nexvala.com. Now, I am not entirely sure if that is the best choice, but I will go ahead and use my email, support@nexvala.com, for this specific entry. Next, let's go ahead and add a phone number to complete the profile. Just to be clear, this phone number is completely made up, so it obviously does not exist in reality, but it serves our purpose here. Finally, I will click on the Add Contact button to save all of these details. We have added this contact. I can easily remove it too, it's not a problem. And we have created this contact for this supplier. So we have put our first supplier into the database. The second one is Iberia Hydraulic System. Here too, we could go and add some contacts. We won't do that right now, so we'll use just one supplier. Also, because I wanted to show you something in the non-conformity opening phase. In case there are no contacts in the system, creation will be requested. Now let's move on to populating the part number database.